Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGod. In today's video we're going to be covering the best class setup for the VKM, which is an LMG in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. If you guys happen to watch my video on what to use your unlock token on, you saw that I actually used it on this weapon, and I showed a little bit of how powerful this weapon was in that video, and now I'm going to give you that best class setup. So for my VKM best class setup, I use high caliber 1, high caliber 2, and rapid fire. Overall, I think the rapid fire is needed for this weapon to compete at a higher level compared to a lot of the other rifles. And then the high caliber 1 and high caliber 2, which definitely increase that melt factor when you hit somebody in the chest or in the head. In case you guys didn't know, there's different damage multipliers depending if you hit someone in the arm or in the chest or in the head. By having high caliber 1 and high caliber 2, you're already hitting people in the chest and the head. Now you're going to be able to melt them that much faster. As far as the rest of the class setup goes, since I am playing free-for-all, I'm running that acoustic sensor, which is very viable because it gives you that 6 cents perk. I'm running Scavenger because I wasn't sure if I wanted to run Crash or Recon. So if you do decide to run Crash, you could actually run Engineer instead of Scavenger. And then I am running Dead Silence to counter a majority of that acoustic sensor that people are going to use. And then I just happen to be trying out Ghost, which I don't think is very strong in this game. For whatever reason, it just doesn't feel very strong in this game. So I'd probably swap that out for Gung Ho and maybe put a sight on the weapon. Kind of want to mix it up and you're not a fan of the iron sight. That pretty much wraps up the best class setup for the VKM. If you are enjoying the video so far, remember to hit that like button. If you're brand new to the channel, I typically cover Call of Duty news, in-game updates, best class setup, subscriber breakdowns, as well as other tip and trick videos on how to improve at Call of Duty. So for the rest of the gameplay, I'm going to focus on a gameplay breakdown of me using this class setup, playing free-for-all on the map Jungle. This is something I typically like to include on all my best class setup videos, so it kind of gives you the how with the what. I think a lot of times people do a great job of giving you that best class setup, but they don't necessarily tell you how you should be using it and focus on the different things you need to be aware of when you're actually using a specific weapon. And based off a lot of my subscriber feedback down in the comment section on a majority of my videos, they find it helpful, so I've continued to do that process as well. So typically when you're playing free-for-all, you kind of want to hold down an area of the map. Right now I'm pretty much just holding this spawn area. The spawns do happen very close to where you're at, so that acoustic sensor comes in real handy. Right here I'm kind of just pre-aiming as the guy comes around the corner. I go ahead and move now. I'm not on the radar. Because I have that ghost, I've already fired my weapon, I've already disappeared. These guys continue to approach where I'm at. So keep in mind, probably one of the worst things you can do in a free-for-all match is just to navigate the map. Typically what you want to do is once you spawn in, try and get to one of these designated areas that are easier to lock down. Typically it's on each end of the map. Right here I'm in this particular spawn, but where the other spawns are on the other side of the map could work good as well. And at this point I did end up seeing a guy right here, so I decided to chase him down just a little bit, and then I do call in that UAV so I get a little bit additional map awareness. And then after I chase down this guy, I end up running into this barbed wire while I was trying to reload. That kind of ruined my plan, so now I kind of had to push towards the middle of the map instead of going back to where I felt safer. And based off the acoustic sensor right now, you can tell that the guy is right next to me. The UAV just passed, so I got a good idea of where he's at. And since that 6 cents perk doesn't go away entirely, I can tell that he's still very close, probably sitting inside this building. That's why I come around the corner, crouch walk, hoping that I can catch him off guard. So I come around the corner, kind of ready, centered at that doorway, snap on, destroy him. This weapon absolutely melts even at range. Ideally, I want to get back to this corner over here. I just got to make sure that it's a clear run for me. Now I don't have a recon or a UAV in the air, so I don't have that map awareness. So I'm slowly got to transition over there, just peek it, and then finally make my move. And you can see once I make my move, I end up kind of in a bad spot. Trying to dodge this dude. I end up taking him out because I was able to take advantage of the acoustic sensor, trip him up, and then I get killed walking back into the spawn by someone who was already sitting there for a while. So now that I died, I decided to switch up my specialist and I go ahead and pick Recon. So the next time I'm in there, I could have used the sensor dart to clear out the area. Maybe I'd have vision pulse by now. It's very hard to tell. I am at 14-12. It is a little bit of a slower match, but I have kind of played very cautiously from the end of the map. So you can see once I pushed out of that spawn area that I said it's good to hold down, my kills slowed down quite a bit and it ended up being in riskier scenarios like the one right here. So a lot of that goes into how the map plays. You're going to end up running into more people when you're sitting in that spawn, but normally what ends up happening is they're running towards you versus you running out of cover towards them. This guy just comes around the corner, snaps on me. I didn't even know he was there. He probably had Dead Silence on. But the other advantage in sitting in the home spawn on either side is you typically have less angles to worry about. Where I was at right there in that little village area, I'm having to deal with people on the left side, the right side, front, back, every which way. So it makes it a little bit harder to predict where enemies are going to flow through. At least from here, I can kind of rotate to the right side, to the left, within the spawn and kind of patrol the area and somewhat camp. And usually most people that do very well at free-for-all, pretty much that's all you do. Kind of just patrol an area. People will come head hunting for you. But usually if you kind of relocate your position every few seconds, you will be a little bit harder to predict, and you'll be able to outgun them because they're going to be looking for where you're at, and it lines up easy kills for you. So although I think this weapon's very strong and it's probably one of the strongest weapons in the game, the big downfall is how long it takes to reload. Even when you have that faster reload equipped, it does still take quite a while. The other factor is that reduced handling. It's going to be a lot harder for you to snap on targets with this gun over having a rifle. The rifle is just going to be a lot more versatile in the game. It is the meta right now. You should be using the ICR, the Vapor, the Maddox. Pretty much all the rifles are very viable. Even the tactical rifles are very strong. They allow to put people down very quickly. Now I put that little sensor dart in the spawn, so pretty much no one's going to sneak up on me unless they have Ghost and Dead Silence. But a lot of people don't do that. Obviously, I have it in this specific gameplay, but in general, you typically don't see that because you have to sacrifice a lot of different things for that actual setup. Ideally, I could have been running Engineer, and then I probably wouldn't have ran into that barbed wire earlier on. That kind of put me out of position. You can see the people just keep spawning around in the area. Now I have a UAV, which will definitely help because I end up being able to detect where people are at, either with that UAV or with that 6th Sense acoustic sensor. You can see right now I've kind of gotten down to the ground, hoping that no one comes up on me while I'm reloading. You can see the reload is a little bit longer, and that's just something you're gonna have to work around when you're using LMG. It's gonna have an inherently slower reload time, slower movement, and you're just gonna have to be able to adjust for that. I ended up coming around the corner knowing exactly where the guy was. Luckily, I was aiming a little low because the guy was prone on the ground. So now I'm just still holding this area. You can see now I'm up by 5 kills. I don't need to play overly stupid or aggressive. Typically with free-for-all, if you play aggressive, you're going to end up dying a lot. The match might end a little bit quicker. You might get 30 kills quicker, but you're probably going to end up with 12 to 15 deaths. Unless you have just really good reflexes, you're going to put yourself in a disadvantage a lot of times. And you can see how quick I melt this first guy, but the second guy comes right out of nowhere. So he probably more than likely had Dead Silence on as he came around, so it didn't pop up my acoustic sensor. So acoustic sensor isn't perfect. If everyone in your lobby is running Dead Silence, you might want to switch it up. The stim shot is a great option so you can recover health, especially if you get in multiple engagements. It might have helped there where I could have been at full health in time to actually approach the other guy. Even though he was in a position to outgun me because he was shooting me in the back, I might have had a little bit more opportunity to react and take the guy out. So since I do have a sensor dart ready to go and I only need 3 kills, I play a little bit more aggressive towards the middle of the map. With that sensor dart there, I'll know if anyone's going to come up the ladder towards that middle building or behind me. So now I'm just positioned, hoping these people will run out of spawn, being super aggressive to come get me. See the guy comes right through here, easily take him out. I took a little bit more hit markers than I probably should have, but he gets melted in the end. Now I'm pushing through spawn, take out the last guy, and that's pretty much it for the video. If you did enjoy the video in any way or found any of the tips helpful, remember to hit that like button. And again, if you're brand new to the channel, you stuck around to the end, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.